The Phoenix Metro added about 59,000 people in the year to July 2025. Now find them. Gilbert grew 0.1%. Chandler shrank. Scottsdale shrank. Mesa shrank. Queen Creek grew 8%. You do not have to do the math. The growth left the middle. That is not one metro, it is two. On Zillow's June Home Value Index, the 10 suburbs on this list run from 345,000 to 631,000. Number 1 is the suburb that lost people. Most Phoenix suburb videos rank on vibes or reprint somebody's letter grade. I have no sourced school ranking and no crime numbers. You get neither. This list is dollars and minutes. Zillow's Value Index, Census Income, Census Commute, Census Tax Bill. Same 4, all 10 times. The order is my judgment. Number 10. The most expensive suburb on this list has the third longest commute on it. Queen Creek. Zillow's June Index, 631,000, the priciest of the 10. Census average travel time to work, 31 minutes, and more than a quarter of workers travel past 45. That is travel to wherever the job is. No verified drive time to downtown Phoenix exists. Median income, $142,000, the highest I studied. Property tax, $27.54, the highest of these 10. It is the fastest growing city I studied, up 51% since 2020, and 58% of its houses went up since 2010. Newest stock of the 19 cities I pulled. You pay top dollar and take the third longest drive on this list for it. The job story is LG's $5.5 billion battery complex, 60% built last August. LG has never published a job number. It said several thousand. I will not read a phrase as a payroll. Then water. On the state's March 2026 list, Queen Creek holds no assured supply designation, so every new subdivision needed its own groundwater certificate. The state stopped approving those in 2023. A court voided that rule in April, and there is still no final ruling. Price the drive before you price the house. Number 9. The suburb everybody recommends charges $138,000 more than number 1 on Zillow's June Index for a longer drive. Gilbert. Zillow's June Index, $572,000. Median income, $123,000, second highest of the 10. Census average travel time to work, 25.9 minutes. Property tax, $24.17. Almost no mobile homes, 82% detached houses. Now hold it against Mesa, which is coming later. On the same index, Gilbert costs $138,000 more, and its average commute is 1.2 minutes longer. My arithmetic. Here is the honest part. I could not verify a single Gilbert employer, infrastructure project, or municipal figure from a primary source. Most of the suburbs here have something attached to them. Gilbert has census data and a reputation. And Gilbert has stopped growing. 0.1% in the year to July 2025. Drive both at 7 on a Tuesday before you pay the difference. Number 8. The deepest discount in this whole study is sitting on one road, Maricopa. The city in Pinal County, not Maricopa County. Zillow's data file gets that wrong. Zillow's June Index, 345,000, 18% below its 2022 peak. Deepest drawdown of the 19 cities I pulled. Population up 35% since 2020. Median income, 96,000. Now the road. Census average travel time to work, 36.6 minutes, the longest anywhere I studied. 38% travel past 45 each way. 76% of residents use one road to get to work. State Route 347. A $350 million widening runs through 2029, speed limits dropped in the work zones, and the city funded its share with its first sales tax rise since incorporation. Run that against Chandler, later on this list. $176,000 cheaper for 12.7 more minutes each way. about $13,900 of house per extra minute. My arithmetic. That is the exchange rate, and Maricopa pays it on one road. Number 7. Two things went wrong in Buckeye. One is still open, and one is closed. Buckeye. Zillow's June index, 395,000, 13% below its 2022 peak. Population up 37% since 2020 to 125,000. Median income just under 100,000. Census average travel time to work, 33 minutes, with 30% traveling past 45. Thing 1. Water. On the state's March 2026 list, Buckeye holds no assured supply designation, so each new subdivision needed its own groundwater certificate. One halted project, North Star Ranch, would have added 9,600 homes. 3 real fixes landed in 2025, and Buckeye's mayor called them a really good start that still will not meet all the city's water needs. Thing 2. Jobs. The $1.2 billion core power battery plant, about 3,000 promised jobs, was canceled in January 2025. Buckeye's rent index is $2,000 a month, above Tempe's and Mesa's, on houses cheaper than both. That is what happens when the rental stock is mostly new, single-family homes, rather than apartments. Read the water disclosure on your own subdivision before you sign. Number 6. Goodyear's tax bill runs $600 a year above the metro median. Goodyear. Zillow's June index, 467,000. Median income, 103,000, fourth highest of the 10. Population, 125,000, up 30% since 2020 and 6.5% last year. Then, the tax line. Median real estate tax paid here is $25.51 a year. The metro median is $19.47. So a house costing $100,000 less than Gilbert's carries a bill $600 heavier than the metro's. Every year you own it. Census average travel time to work, 29.6 minutes, and 22% travel past 45. 40% of the housing has gone up since 2010, which in practice means master planned and HOA governed. Goodyear holds its own state-assured supply designation. Buckeye lacks one. Between the two big West Valley options, that is the difference on paper, though the state warns the designation can stop short of the city line. Number 5. Peoria is being sold on a factory that does not start producing until 2028. Peoria. Zillow's June index, 486,000. 200,000 people, up 5% since 2020. Median income, 96,000. Census average travel time to work, 28 minutes. Property tax, $21.60. Now, the pitch. In October 2025, Amkor broke ground here on a $7 billion semiconductor packaging campus with up to $400 million of federal CHIPS money behind it. The number attached to it is up to 3,000 skilled jobs. That is a projection. Amkor's own timeline has the first facility finishing in mid-2027 and production starting in early 2028. So anyone buying here for those jobs is 2 years ahead of the first paycheck. Still, it is funded and already under construction. Buy Peoria on its own 4 numbers. Treat Amkor as a bonus arriving in 2028. Number 4. Surprise took one of the deepest price hits in the metro and kept the boring things right. Surprise. Zillow's June index, 420,000, 14% below its 2022 peak. Third deepest drawdown of the 19 cities I pulled. Median income, 97,000. Median real estate tax, 1842, low for this price range. 86% detached single family. Surprise holds its own state-assured supply designation. And when Amkor won the first 100-year designation issued in the Phoenix management area in 25 years, it said that ended a 2-year development pause in places like Buckeye and Surprise. Those are Amkor's words about Amkor's own achievement. The cost is the drive. Census average travel time to work, 30.2 minutes, with 23% traveling past 45 each way. West Valley job or a laptop. This is the best priced settled suburb here. And number 1 is still ahead. It beats every suburb so far on the trade. Number 3, the shortest commute of the 19 cities I pulled is attached to the smallest chance of buying a house. Tempe. Census average travel time to work, 20.9 minutes. Shortest of the 19 cities I pulled, and only 7% travel past 45. The metro average is 26.4. Zillow's June index, 468,000. Rent index, 1667, under Buckeyes. Tempe is 42% owner-occupied, and 38% of its homes are detached single-family. Both are the lowest figures in the study. 14% of the stock has gone up since 2010. At this price in Tempe, you are buying a commute, not a house. Median income here is $79,000, the lowest of the 10, and a very large university does that to a median. 2 earners working the Tempe and Chandler core. This is your suburb. Moving a family out of California expecting a yard, open the listings first. Number 2. The best commute of any suburb on this list, over $500,000, is attached to one company's spending cycle. Chandler. Zillow's June index, 522,000. Census average travel time to work, 23.9 minutes, the best of any suburb over $500,000 in this ranking. 10% travel past 45. Median income, $108,000. Property tax, $22.58. The company is Intel at its Ocotillo campus. $20 billion for 2 fabs, called the largest private sector investment in Arizona history when it was announced in 2021. Fab 52 now runs Intel's 18A process. Now, the audit. Intel filed layoff notices for 385 Chandler employees in 2024, 696 last July, and 97 more that August. Across Maricopa County, semiconductor and electronic component manufacturing fell from 24,500 jobs to a preliminary 22,000 between 2023 and 2025, down 10%. Meanwhile, announced capital hit records nationally, TSMC alone at $265 billion across its U.S. build-out. Record investment, shrinking payroll, both true at once. Chandler shrank last year too, down 0.5%, and number 1 cost $87,000 less than this, for 48 more seconds of travel. Number 1, Mesa. Here is where the 4 numbers land. Zillow's June index, 435,000, 4th cheapest of the 10. Census average travel time to work, 24.7 minutes, better than the Metro's 26.4, and beaten on this list only by Tempe and Chandler. Median real estate tax, $1,604, the lowest of these 10. And Zillow's rent index, a 5th number, $1,549, 2nd cheapest of the 19 cities I pulled. Mesa is not the cheapest suburb on this list. It is the best trade on it. Now the catch. Mesa is not growing. It lost a little population in the year to July 2025. 13% of its housing has gone up since 2010. 1 home in 8 is a mobile home. Eastmark, its flagship master-planned community, went from 6th in the country with 919 sales in 2017 to 44th, with 231 in the first half of 2023. So the crowd went to the edge. The scorecard stayed here. Open Mesa listings this weekend, while it is still the suburb nobody recommends. So which one? Mesa, for the best combination of price, commute, and tax bill. Chandler, if you can spend $500,000 and want the shortest drive of the houses at that tier. Surprise, for a deep discount and a provider that holds its own designation. Tempe, only if you rent. Queen Creek and Gilbert are where the price has run ahead of what it buys you. 4 of this metro's famous suburbs were flat or shrinking last year. If you would rather leave this metro entirely, watch 10 best places to live in Arizona right now next.